Hey guys, this is Magic here, and don't you hate it when you have a plan in place and then somebody comes in and just destroys it, just utterly obliterates it, doesn't follow it whatsoever, and like a whole event or a whole project or something just goes completely off the rails? Like you did a group project and you're trying to give a presentation on economics, and then somebody shows up dressed as Vash the Stampede, and you're like, what? And then they're like, oh, are we not doing the cosplay thing? Because I could have sworn that's where you were going with this. For those of you complete nutbars out there, no, that did not actually happen to me. Although I do think I would look fantastic as Vash the Stampede. Though I would not bring it to an economics presentation. Also, what the hell would you present in economics? That's pretty much just like they teach you anyway. This example is a perfect analogy to what I think happened with, well, not only Aether Revolt and the current state of Standard, but a whole bunch of other sets in the past. But for the sake of this video, I'm only going to talk about Aether Revolt. So, Kaladesh as well, I guess you could throw it in, but I'm talking about the state of Standard right now, and it's no big secret that they designed the two sets together in a block. So let me present you with the problem in case you're, I don't know, not playing Magic right now and living under a rock. And the rock doesn't have internet access, in which case, how the hell are you watching my channel right now? But basically, Standard is unplayable, it's garbage, everybody hates it, everybody who knows anything about Magic, and I mean like you've been playing for a year knows anything. Like you don't have to be some famous commentator or like some bigwig or something. It's just obvious to everybody. It's a bunch of like frickin' 3-1-3-2s for like 2 and just counters and just, oh my god, like Gideon and his extra things and then counters and then swinging himself and the emblem. Oh my god, just like forget about Standard being slow. You better have your crap together by turn 3 or 4 or you're done. And nobody really likes to play that. That's why everybody hates Red Burn, everybody hates Red Rush, or even in some cases Green Creature Rush. It's because you don't get to play your damn deck. You lost so quick, or you burn out their hand, burn out their board state, and they have no draw engine, they have no durability, they're playing a fast deck. If it burns out, they just lose, which, okay, good for you, but then you have to put in every deck 8 to 12 super fast, super early things that'll shut down any opponent, and that's where we're at right now. So, I mean, thank God for Fatal Push. That was a perfect time to print that because it's fast. It is super fast. It's so good and fast that people are playing it in Modern. But unfortunately, that's about where it ends. So, I mean, you look at the number of decks that are competitive right now, it's 3, maybe arguably 4. That's it. I mean, you could say, oh, but I play this deck and it works. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff, and it depends upon your local meta and your own luck and your own skill. Remember, a complete idiot piloting the best deck is going to come in dead last at the tournament. So your experience may vary, as they say, but in general, from the tournament results and the MTGO results, sorry, but it's 3 or 4 decks. And that's just boring and that's stupid, and really not a whole lot can beat those decks. Now, for those of you who repetitively keep saying in my comment section, oh, that's just how it is, that's how they designed it, they wanted fast, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. I like it, I like fast stuff, I play Modern, this resembles Modern, cool. Well, that's provably not how Standard is supposed to be, because they banned 3 cards the last time this happened. Like 6 months ago. The last time there was unbeatable decks that just stomped everything in their path. They just, nothing stood a chance against them. They were too good, too consistent, too perfect. They cut the head off all 3 of them. Reflector Mage, Emrakul, and whatever the hell else they banned. Totally forgot. Blocked it out at this point. But yeah, all that crap needed to go, okay? Like, Blue-White Spirits was unbeatable. It was absolutely unbeatable, especially with the different color mixes. I believe there was a more powerful version of Blue-White Spirits that ran, like, green or something? I don't even remember. Maybe red? Actually, I think it was black, come to think of it. But either way, I mean, that deck, the control, the speed, the durability, it was too perfect. Nobody could beat that damn deck, except for the other overpowered decks. They might stand a chance. So Wizards was like, oh crap, we have not banned a card in like 5 years, but we need to fix this immediately. So anybody saying that there's nothing wrong with Standard right now, this is Kaladesh 2.0, and it's twice as bad, okay? This is the crappy Hollywood sequel to Kaladesh, okay? It's even worse than the first one. This is Trolls 2, and I'm calling it right now. That movie, it was just announced. They probably haven't even started on that damn movie yet. So, not up for discussion, not up for argument, not up for debate if the state of standard right now is bad, okay? It's bad. Everybody disagrees with you if you disagree with what I'm saying. So for those of you who know what's going on, okay, it's like, what do we do to fix it? Well, who cares? That's what my last 3 videos were on. Let's analyze what went wrong, because they designed this on purpose. Now, a lot of people, me included, have simplified this to, oh, they wanted a bunch of money, so they printed a bunch of hyper powerful stuff. And initially that was it. That was my sole reasoning for it. They wanted money. A 184 card set is never worth money. It never sells well. It never has, it never will. Well, there's one exception. If you print just madness in the set, we're just utter sheer insanity on the power level. There's a $6 uncommon in Aether Revolt, in case I had to remind you of that. I mean, just look at the sheer volume of Aether Revolt cards that are in the top decks. I mean, they push the power. The power has been raised into insanity. So that's it, right? The power level is too good, so the decks are too fast or too unbeatable, and there's really just not enough counters to stop them early enough. And it's not even that. It's not just, oh, I can't stop this deck because, Bile Blight doesn't exist, because, that's a valid argument, but it's more like the top decks are too powerful just at all in a vacuum. So that means that it pushes out other decks, and that's just what would happen naturally, whether there were individual sideboard answers to these decks or not. So it would kind of take them down a peg, but people would still play them. So you can't just say I need answers. I need cards that completely just utterly shut down this, that, or that mechanic. I mean, would a Windstorm be nice? Yes. Could we have used it to kill Blue-White Spirits? Yeah, a little bit. But you can't just blame it on one card, okay? Like Blood Moon in Modern only gets you so far. It's good, but it doesn't stop people from playing the top decks. It just pisses them off and makes them lose once in a while. So it really is just the sheer power level. So they printed high power, they got a high power level. Ta-da! And then you mix it with the fact that they let 3 color be a thing way too easily. That's the second component to pushing the power level. But that's not really a push power level, that's just a design choice. How easy do you want it to be to go off of mono, and how easy do you want it to be to go off of dual? And apparently the answer was really damn easy, unfortunately. So those were the 2 mistakes, but I think I've hit the root of this, because there's more to it than just let's suicidally print power for no reason just to make money. Cross my fingers, I hope it doesn't ruin standard. I hate to say it, but I feel like there was more going on at Wizards of the Coast than just that. I mean, they are realistically that stupid, but here's what I think went wrong. It was all vehicles. I thought that I heard some kind of article or tweet or something about how they took a poll, because they almost always take a poll after they release something, and people's favorite mechanic by far from back in the day was Bestow. People freaking loved Bestow because it wasn't overpowered, it wasn't crazy, but it gave you, durability with just creatures instead of just counterspells and hexproof, just creatures against removal. And that was utterly brilliant because there was quite a bit of removal. I personally love Bestow. It was up there in the best design mechanics ever in the entire game. And I mean, that's a short list. I love Miracle. I think Miracle is perfect because it's unreliable, but it's fun and it's cool and it makes games exciting. And it's not completely overpowered because you didn't really plan for it. It's just something that might happen. It adds a little bit of chaos, a little bit of fun to a deck design. So Bestow was just perfect. It's just piggybacking creatures. Now, you obviously know where I'm going with this. Vehicles. You're basically piggybacking creatures. You're using one to springboard into something more powerful and kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, making it one target, but you've got some fallback in case one of them gets destroyed. So really, they just reprinted a weaker version of Bestow. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, there actually is something wrong with that. A weaker version of Bestow is going to be crap. Nobody's going to be interested in it. When I first saw vehicles, I thought, why would I have an attacker, a perfectly valid attacking creature like a 3/1, and then tap it and not attack with it to just swing with some 4 damage piece of crap? Why would I, instead of bringing out a vehicle, bring out another 3/1, bring out a different creature, bring out a 2/2 like first striker, or just like anything else. Like the total cumulative damage is higher. So what they did is they pushed the power of the vehicles up. So then you got your Smuggler's Copter and your Heart of Kirin. Okay, those were taking it too far. They made vehicles too good and too doable. Without them, would people be playing vehicles? I don't know. I mean, honestly, just pure vehicles like vehicles, pilots, dwarves, and all that, it's not really big right now. So if you took away the most powerful vehicles and powered them down just a hair, yeah, it probably wouldn't have been good. So they really just shouldn't have designed vehicles. Personally, I think it's a fun mechanic. I think it's interesting. It's new. It's kind of cool. I played around with it. I thought it was, worth putting in a set. But from a design standpoint and logic, no, it was a disaster and they shouldn't have done it. So I kind of get where they were coming from and I can see why it got approved. Here's the problem with vehicles, though, and I think this is where it went wrong. One, the vehicles are hyper powerful, and then two, they knew that the weakness was you target the pilots, because if I've got kill spells and my goal is to kill the majority of what you have on the field while I like bash you in the face with black creatures, typical black or black-white kind of deck, I have to kill half as many creatures because as soon as you run out of pilots, your vehicles are a parking lot. In fact, that's what we call it at my LGS. If somebody has a bunch of vehicles and can't do crap with it, they got shut down, we call it a parking lot. Either that or I think some of us call it an impound lot. I think that's what I called it because it was like, boats and vehicles and like airplanes. I assume an airplane could get impounded. I wouldn't know. My personal jet has never been impounded because I don't have one. So they made the power level crazy, but then they made the pilots crazy. Okay, the other problem with it is to get out a vehicle, okay, you got to pay for it, drop it out, cool. Turn 2, turn 3, whatever, you just burned all your mana, great. Now you have to bring out a pilot for it. Okay, now you're another turn in. You're still attacking with half of your potential creatures. So, design vehicles be worth it, but you're playing an entire turn behind your opponent. That's just stupid, especially with like landfall, haste, giant creatures, and +3/+3 boost that cost 1 mana. Okay, you can't really play against that. So the problem is the crew costs were high because they didn't want you crewing something for 1 that swings for like 4 in the air. That's a little much. I mean, that's too much ramp when it costs 2 or 3 and it's already flying. Or, like Smuggler's Copter had what, like crew 1, maybe 2, I don't know. But there's so many like 2/1s for 1. There's a ton of 3/1s and 3/2s for 2. I mean, like seriously, no joke, there's like 7 or 8. They're spread across the colors. Some of them, like Scrap Heap, are colorless. I mean, they put the pilots out there. So the worst thing is Scrap Heap. He is like the devil himself in crew form. He can crew anything, and then if they kill another crew member and you put another creature in the graveyard, he can just come right back, assuming you're playing black. And here comes the color fixing again. Most people would not be playing black vehicles. They'd be playing a little bit bigger creatures like white or green to be crewing it. Oh, but you can just play all 3, so it doesn't matter. You can just throw in black literally just for Scrap Heap and that's it, and it works. I mean, welcome to Khans Terkir. You should not be able to go past 2 without any negative consequences on getting color screwed, okay? That's like a universal rule of bad Magic design. In Modern, okay, yeah, because the color fixing is there, that's how it should be. You should be able to use 3+ different colors, obviously. But in Standard, that shouldn't happen. That just, it lowers the variety. It lets people use, quote, the best of every card. Like the best removal, best creature, best this, best lifelink, best, board wipe. That results in, way too powerful of a deck, obviously. I don't even need to mention that. It's pretty obvious. So here's the slight issue. They also printed counters. So now you got a Snakes deck that has some of the most powerful creatures ever printed, and they all come out on turn 2. I mean, 1 at a time after turn 2, but they start on turn 2, and then they're like a 5/3 or a 5/5 or a 5/4 or whatever due to counters on like turn 4. That's not good. Oh, and then you're dropping multiple counters because I got multi-counter drop and self-counter drop, self-contained free duplicated counters with Revolt. I mean, they really screwed up by adding counters with powerful creature pilots. That's not good. And I don't mean literally pilots. I mean like not necessarily the subtype pilot. I mean just creatures that are typically used for crewing. So what do people do? I don't need vehicles. I mean, I'll take Heart of Kirin because it's pretty cool, but other than that, screw vehicles. And then they just attack with the damn freaking pilots, the crewing creatures. I've got no problem just swinging away with the Scrap Heap Scrounger, putting, 10 counters on it, and oh my god. It's just, people took what they were supposed to do, which is build vehicles, and they completely went off the rails with it. So I think the intention with all these hyper powerful fast creatures was, if the vehicles are dirt cheap but powerful, that's broken. So they made them kind of mid cost and powerful. Now you still gotta crew them, and if it takes too long to get out crew, like you gotta crew it with multiple creatures, now you're 2 turns behind your opponent, nobody's gonna touch vehicles. So their solution was to make more powerful crewing creatures, and then people said, screw it, we don't need vehicles, and they just attack with the creatures. That's my summary of how Standard went. That doesn't cover every last deck archetype, but it does come together with a perfect storm with other stuff, like what I said, 3 color, that's toxic in general, and then counters. If you take powerful creatures and make it really easy to make them more powerful over time, that's not good. The deck is just too fast, too powerful, too much aggro. And yes, it's pronounced agro, not aggro. I'm not British. Oh, and in Wisconsin, we actually say aggressive, not aggressive. We also say ya guys instead of y'all. Oh, and my cousin from Maryland said that we say or not, like a lot. So do you guys agree with my theory about where it went completely berserk off the rails, but what their intentions were? Or not? It's just a theory. I don't have proof, but I think, they thought, yeah, that's a fun mechanic, cool, let's make it work. And then it phased into, oh crap, it doesn't work, it's too slow, let's make better crew because that was the weak point. And then, whoopsies, everybody's just abandoning vehicles and swinging with the crew. It would be like a demolition derby where everybody just gets out of their cars and just beats each other with their fists. It's not exactly what you intended, but if you didn't really do anything to stop it, people don't have a disincentive not to do it. You didn't say nobody can get out of their cars and use their fists. Guess what they're going to do? I mean, they want to win. They want to build the biggest, baddest, best deck. So there it is. Now, all of this culminates to the fact that they did not design Standard this way on purpose. And that's a huge misconception right now. Huge. So what I think that leads to is they're more likely to ban something than if they did design it this way on purpose and now people are mad, but they did it on purpose. No, this was an accident, and they have admitted that Saheeli Ryan, the frickin' stupid cat goat thing, that was a disaster. They completely dropped the ball on that one. Like, I'm not kidding. They have admitted that was an accident. I mean, that just adds fuel to the fire about how bad Standard is right now. So I guarantee you, in 2 days, that cat beast will be gone. Felidar Guardian is going to be banned no matter what. The decks that lose it, don't even give a crap. They're perfectly powerful enough without it. It just takes the stress off people with all this turn 4 crap. Just a little bit, but not really, because people are still playing snakes. Now, I do have to add one more thing. Utterly ruined Standard. They completely underestimated, almost exclusively due to the 3 color problem, the amount of energy people would generate. Marvel is broken, Dynavolt Tower is a nuisance. They just simply underestimated the amount of energy that people can generate, and the number one culprit is Glimmer. You're giving them more cards, which generate more energy, either directly or also in addition to Dynavolt Tower. And then it's feeding Marvel, which is feeding the board state. And then you're just getting free cards while also getting energy, while also getting energy, while also getting energy. That's just too much. They needed to take down the energy generation just a tiny little peg. That was disastrous. But I think vehicles were responsible for the most damage, and all that's wrong with energy is, 1, they should have taken it down a peg, and 2, they should have printed a card that costs like 3 and says your opponent loses all energy counters and takes damage equal to the energy counters they had. Simple as that. Just have that out there as like a card lurking in the shadows of everybody's sideboard, and people think twice about it. That alone would have been nice. It would have just lowered the number of people, the sheer number of people running energy right now. Plus, self-contained mechanics that only work in the block that they're in really don't sell cards because they aren't usable in Modern, and once they cycle out, they're worthless. So that was just a bad call in general to invent energy. Although, once again, I think energy is super fun and such a great design idea, just not in actual practical use. Like, I loved the idea, but now that I've seen it, like, now I don't. Like, it looked fun, it looked like a fun experiment, but it did not work out, obviously. So back to the banning idea, the only argument I've heard about not banning stuff is, oh, it drove people away, people quit over it. Well, if I didn't make it clear enough in my last video about specifically who quit over this, netdeckers, it was toxic, have to win, pay to win douchebags that nobody wants at their LGS anyway. I don't care if it cut out 50% of your players. That was the 50% that if they had to go, you wanted to leave, okay? So we're not missing anybody. I don't care. It's the people that buy up all the damn singles anyway, so screw those net decking douchebags. Oh no, I can't play my broken Emrakul Freecast turn 4 and automatically win with no skill and no decisions on turn 5. That's so unfair. I spent so much money on that deck, so I'm entitled to win. Every time there's a tournament, I just copy it, and it costs so much money, and I whine about the cost of standard, but I like winning because my self-esteem is really low. That is who just left, okay? That's who left when Emrakul got banned. Sorry. You think people playing Red Black Madness gave a crap when Reflector Mage got banned? No, it was the douchebags running the freaking Blue White Spirits net deck. Screw those people. They knew their decks were just toxic crap that nobody wanted to play against. I mean, the first time around, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that after 5 years, they could have said, okay, I'm not in danger of the deck being banned. I'm just being a douchebag by playing it. Everybody at my LGS hates me. They groan and whine and complain and just are pissed when they see that they're matched up against me. Oh, but at least I'm winning packs and fun doesn't matter. Like, that's who left when they banned the cards. You guys don't realize this. Oh no, players lost so much value. If they're running $300 net decks, otherwise they didn't lose any value. If you're running a $30 deck, your chances of losing value are 0, and now that those people are gone, you probably just called 6 of your friends that are more casual players and said, hey, come to F&M, these douchebags aren't showing up anymore. So actually, the bannings, yeah, it made people leave, but it probably made more people show up. Unfortunately, that was short-lived because as soon as Aether Revolt came out, bye-bye. Bye, everyone. See you when they ban something else, because holy hell can you not play against red, white, blue right now. All the casual players showed back up and they're like, yeah, this is great. Everybody stomped off like a little toddler who brought their ball home so nobody can play because, oh, I'm so mad that they banned my net deck that I didn't build myself and have no, like entitlement to win with, we'll say. And then they got beat on turn 4 by an infinite combo, then turn 5 by getting run over by ballistas and snakes, and then like turn 37 frickin' thousand with Jeskai. Oops, did I just accidentally call it Jeskai? I meant red, white, blue. There are no cards from Jeskai in there. That actually cycled out. I don't know if you heard that or not. So if they ban more stuff, oh, they're going to lose all their players. Good. Like, anybody that's pissed over their Saheeli Rai Felidar combo getting banned, like, this is like double down now. Not only is it in the back of your mind that maybe it's not such a friendly deck to bring to F&M, and maybe people are getting pissed over you bringing it, and also maybe it's on the chopping block for being banned considering what just happened in the last ban cycle. Okay, you know damn well what you're bringing to F&M. You know it might get banned. It's just like Amulet Bloom winning on turn 3 way too often. You knew that was on the chopping block. You knew it was capable of winning on turn 3 way too easily. Same with Dredge. Oh no, my Dredge deck just got banned. Because it won too damn often, okay? Did you not notice the power level? Okay, that's on you, okay? If you play too close to the sun, you might melt your little wings and fall back down. That's an Icarus reference, by the way. Not the eBay seller, the mythological dude. I mean, the warning shots across the bow from the ban cannon, which, okay, let's be honest, were not warning shots. No, they hit those ships. But the shots have been fired. Everybody is well aware that their deck could be killed if it's way too powerful, and they know it's way too powerful, and everybody's telling them it's way too powerful. Guess what? If you didn't see a ban coming, you're an idiot. So there's going to be a ban coming, okay? 2 days from now, they damn well better announce something or they are going to lose some people. And that's the thing. That's the thing. This is the most important takeaway from the ban situation. If they ban something, they're going to lose people. So they should not ban it, right? Or are they going to lose more people if they don't ban something? Holy crap, are people pissed about the state of standard, okay? Anybody just one tiny little step down from a like professional full-time 24/7 net decker is on the verge of not showing up to F&M because of it. Newsflash, casual players outnumber the net deckers by a lot, okay? It depends on your LGS. Maybe this isn't true at yours, but in general, from what I've heard and in my own experience, 75 to 90% of players are like casual and just play what's fun. They brew stuff or they run second-rate decks because it looks cool. They're not obsessed with winning to the point where they will just buy any top tournament net deck. So if the net deckers stomp off, oh, what a waste of money, they just killed my deck, blah, 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 now I gotta build another $300 net deck, which, by the way, is not true, logically. If they leave, who cares? If the vast majority of people leave, Uh-oh, okay, now you're losing money. And do those people spend more? No. So, I mean, money-wise, how much money is really walking away? I don't know. But you know how much money is walking away if 5 people show up to F&M and they have to cancel it? A little bit of money, actually. So, you really, no matter how you look at it, they need to ban something to, just piss off the stupid douchebag net decker elitist, just miserable people and let the rest of us play Magic. I mean, it's really as simple as that. So they mess this up with vehicles, in my opinion, plus a couple other factors, but primarily vehicles and crewing. They need to clean it up. They need to admit their mistakes. And since this is like the third or fourth time they've ruined Standard just since I've been playing, somebody should probably get fired. The rumor that's been floating around since I started playing, I've heard this over and over and over. In fact, I might make a Legends video on it if I can find evidence. One of the R&D people, the card designers, one of the big name ones, got fired after Jace the Mind Sculptor. I believe Cawblade was also included in that when all my friends told me about it. So if the designer of Cawblade, who let that through, got fired, and the designer of Jace the Mind Sculptor got fired, maybe time to fire a couple more people. Especially Aaron Forsyth. I don't know why everybody doesn't want to name names. He signs off on most of the cards, if not all of them. He let the Felidar Guardian combo through, and he has 10 to 20 years of experience at Magic. Okay, I wouldn't have missed that, and I've been playing for 4 years. I would have read the card and about 30 seconds later said, even Planeswalkers, and then looked into it. There's 12 legal Planeswalkers or something right now. It's not that hard. So yes, heads need to roll over this to fix it. But now I'm just repeating myself from my last video. So what do you guys think? Was my theory correct about the vehicles and the crewing? Was that responsible for it? Or was it something else? Or that just wasn't a factor at all and it was just generally people not doing their job, I guess you would say. Let me know down in the comments section, and I'll see you guys next video.